project at UCLA was called Incarcerated Youth Tutorial Project. We tutor kids in juvenile detention centers. And a lot of them would say, oh, you're from Iraq? Yes. The biggest question that you get a lot of times now when you tell people you're from Iraq, are you Sunni or Shia? And so they would ask that, are you Sunni or Shia? And I'd say, I'm Muslim first, but yes, I'm Shia. And then they would go, is it true that da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da? And this is somebody who, they're not Muslim, they don't know, we're teaching about Islam, and they know all these like strange intricacies and myths and understandings, and I just think to myself, where does it come from? Exactly. There's resources that are being pumped into education. And that education is being funneled to creating disunity and discord within our community. And so, we would sit down and we would explain, and I'd get kind of weird looks from some of the other brothers and sisters who were there who were not Shia, or like, is this guy doing Shia da'wah? And I had to calm them down and say, no, I'm not trying to win somebody over or, do any of that. No, I'm just trying to explain to them what I'm thinking and where my beliefs come from, and there's some serious myths and discord that's here. And so I'd like to move now to thinking about what are we've talked about some of the reasons why. We've talked about some of the causes. Now we have to think about what are things that we can do. I'd like to posit one almost obvious, but sometimes it gets lost example is the number one thing you can do to build better bridges within the Muslim community is study your own beliefs. If for those of us who are Shia and those of us who are Sunni in the crowd today, study your own beliefs and your own understandings and the roots of your own ideologies. Because it will do two things. Number one, there's the expression, how can you tell somebody about yourself when you don't even know about yourself in the first place? I totally killed that expression. But how can you teach somebody about who you are when you don't know the very foundations of what makes you you? And so that is the number one thing, is learning about ourselves and learning about why we do the things we do, why we do the practices we do, where this came from, where that came from, having that understanding, first and foremost. The second thing we can do is build stronger communities amongst ourselves. And I'm starting again in and working my way out. So first, our foundation, our ideology, our beliefs have to be well-grounded and well-principled. And secondly, our communities, when I say this center or other Shia centers, have to be very close. Because we have to be a base of support and a base of encouragement for other Muslims and other Shias to get involved and to say, you know what, I'm not alone. I can have a confidence. And that way when they meet and when they get involved in larger Muslim organizations, and invariably something strange might happen, or they might get somebody that 99.9% of our Sunni brothers and sisters are 90% are very open and are very willing to discuss and dialogue, and 99.9% don't have that hatred that is really corrupting our community. And so when you have a confidence, when you have a strong ideology, a strong foundation in your beliefs, and when you're backed by a strong community, you're more willing to dialogue. You're more willing to discuss. The third thing that we can do is work on our adab, work on our akhlaq, work on what makes us have good character. I remember when another story is, it was a time when there was a lot of discord happening within the community that I was involved in Los Angeles. When we were here, there was an organization that was being started of Muslim alumni who had just left UCLA. And they said, how can we stay involved in Los Angeles? We want to stay involved. And so they started a community center. It was right here on Motor in Venice. And they started a community center, and they started a clothing store, and they would have weekly and bi-weekly events. And it was amazing because a lot of Muslims who had just graduated said, we're not going to leave Los Angeles. We might have to go for for education or for whatnot, but we're going to come back here and we're going to stay here. And then, the time came to nominate a board, and they nominated a board, and Brother Shahab Rasfar, who many of us know, was chosen to be the emir, the leader of that community. And it caused a lot of strife because Brother Shahab Rasfar, is Shia. And a lot of Sunni brothers and sisters said, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm willing to have them be involved and get involved, but I don't know if I want my whole community to be run by this, to be run by a Shia. And so a lot of brothers and sisters said, they just dismissed that fear. And they said, all the Shia brothers and sisters I know have some of the best akhlaq. They're the best, kind, most patient, humble, kind, generous people. When I'm around them, I feel happy and I feel calm and I feel comforted. I feel a great strength, and I feel just beyond their knowledge, beyond how well, they're able to speak for Islam, beyond how active they are, how hardworking they are. If I had just wanted to have lunch with someone, a lot of those people are the ones who I'd want to sit down with. And, how can somebody who's that good, who's that kind, who's that compassionate, be a bad person? Right? It creates now it creates the onus, you convince me that these are bad people. Whereas before, if their whole interaction with us was gruff and, scowls and everything, now the burden of proof shifts a little bit to where now you convince me they're good people. So we have to balance that burden of proof to the side that all of us where it should be, where you always assume that your Muslim brothers and sisters are sincere and mean the best, unless serious, tangible proof is shown otherwise. And that applies to everyone, right? So a strong knowledge, a strong foundation in your beliefs, a very well-knit community, and then good akhlaq. Those are three main things. And then obviously the last is being involved in the larger Muslim community. And not just for the sake of, I want to get involved so I can sneak in and I can, plug in my beliefs. No, obviously not. Yeah, right? No, obviously not. Getting involved because it's the right thing to do. Because there's so much serious work that has to be done in the Muslim community. Whether it's building our mosques, educating non-Muslims about Islam, doing some of the social services within Los Angeles that are desperately needed to be done, helping, like we've said before, orphans or refugees, or speaking out against injustice. There's so much work that needs to be done. And so getting involved for that reason. But also a nice side effect of that is that you'll build bridges together. And when you do get involved, take leadership. Don't just be involved and be on the sidelines. Take leadership, because by doing so, you'll prove to others that, look at this foundation that I have, it's springing me up, and it's causing me to want to do more. And so people will be more willing to trust you and to want to build bridges. And those are the four things that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to end with. Knowledge in your own beliefs, having a strong community, having a good basis of character and akhlaq, and getting involved and being leaders when you do get involved in the Muslim community. With that, inshallah, we ask Allah to build bridges within the Muslim community. We ask that He expose those who seek to discord and cause disunity within our community. And we ask that He unite us all, inshallah, for the sake of Islam. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل البيته الطيبين الطاهرين.